Thorfinn, he transforms from season 1 from his very vengeful self to his very like kingly essence at the end of season 2, and then you're like, well, I want more. I want to see more. I want to see what happens to Thorfinn next. And this is where I'd like to say, because I've been in this exact same boat myself as well too, is we're always wanting another season. We always want another video. We always want more content. We always want something more than what we have right now. There's so much information. There's so many different aspects. There's so many different things that we can find online, that we can find anywhere that we go. And yet we're always looking for that next thing. I know I've done that myself. Like after I finished Vinland, or after I finished like Avatar: The Last Airbender, I was like, oh, is there going to be more? Or is there going to be another season? It's the same thing when I was watching like Resident Alien, or binge watching a show like Altered Carbon. Like these are all different movies around like the sci-fi-esque type of realm. And I just figured I might as well make a video talking about how we always seem to want more instead of just being in the present. This past year, I ended up taking off quite a bit of time, a little sabbatical, you could say, to be able to figure out what I wanted to do, kind of like how Thorfinn ended up losing. Oh, and just for reference sakes, if you haven't watched Vinland Saga, there's going to be minor spoilers, so I just want to touch on that. It's not going to be like big ones, but I mean, it kind of is in a sense, but it's at the end of season 1. I just want to toss that out there first before we end up going into more in depth with this type of video right now. So after I ended up taking off some time, because like everything that I had been chasing for, I ended up receiving everything that I had ever wanted. I was like, oh, well, that's kind of like, I was always going after more. I was always wanting more. I was always wanting a lot more than what I had currently. And then I came to realize it's like, I can actually be happy with this present moment. Yes, I can be working towards like some goal, some achievement, some sort of accolade or some success that I hadn't originally had. And through that process, I was like, this is great. I just have come to realize it's just like, just because like, it's better to create than it is to consume. Don't get me wrong, I still consume. Like I was reading Reddit this morning, like I was talking to you about, which gave me this idea for this said video, and I still watch anime stuff, but there also needs to be a balance between creating our own work, creating our own creative expression, just like the writers within Vinland Saga did, or within your favorite show, your favorite anime, your favorite life. Because like you are the creator of your destiny. You are the creator of your reality. You are the creator of everything that you see within your own field of vision. So when you want another season, like yes, it may take some more time, but you can get that other season if that is something that you truly do desire and you truly do want. Or what you could do instead is you could be like, I wonder what Thorfinn would do in going into season 3. Well, if these are the things that he would do, what if I instead went and did those said things from the things that he had done? Because in season 1, maybe you resonate with him in the same ways that I did. Or it's just like, I'm very vengeful. I want to prove this point to the said person. I want to defeat these people. I want to prove to myself that I am worthy, and to, not even to myself, it was more to like everybody else around me, to show them that like, hey, I am worthy of this success. I am worthy of your praise. I am worthy of all these like great accolades. And then you come to realize it's like, oh, this was my own doing. Like I had to go through this journey to be here right now. So it's like we always want to have something more. We always want to be something more. Like let's say we don't have enough money. It's like, okay, well, now I want to go out and make more money. Okay, well, where's it stop? Like where's it stop? And obviously it never has to stop if you don't want it to stop, because some people will say that it's like you moving the goalpost. So it's like, hey, we're just gonna have season 2, but then it's like, it's not really you moving the goalpost. It's just making your goals more obtainable, so that then you can have more content, or you can create something more later down the road. So it's like, yes, we may get a season 3. It'll take a couple of years, because like if you think about the amount of time, the effort, the just overall work that goes into creating a season such as like Vinland Saga or any of our favorite animes, sometimes it takes work. And I have heard that sometimes the animators out in Japan aren't always compensated in the most feasible way, where at the same time, like this is where I'd change the script and I'd change the view of like, maybe they love what they're doing, because like who would work extremely long hours if they weren't truly passionate about the thing that they're doing? And you could be like, well, it's because they have to pay their bills. It's like, okay, well, if that's the only reason why they're doing it, then they wouldn't be doing that in the first place. Like find something else that's not as like hard and intense for them to be able to do, because they themselves had decided that they wanted to be in that said position. And you can be like, no, it's the world that's been telling them to do that. And that's where I'd be like, no, like you are the one that has decided to be in this place, because as Thorfinn decided that he wanted to go and get revenge on Askeladd, that's exactly what he ended up wanting to do. And then when that wasn't able to happen, then all of a sudden he had to reevaluate his whole life. So then it's like, okay, well, now I want to live for me instead of living for this other person. And you can do the exact same thing within your own life as well too. So what I myself have figured out, like you can do these things. It just might take some time. just as like getting new seasons always seems to take time, and there's always different options or different alternatives or different routes. Like I've had other animes that I've watched, such as Solo Leveling as a prime example, which if you've ever watched that, awesome. If not, highly recommend going and checking it out. That was one of those animes where I was like, I need to know what happens next. So I went to the source material, I went to the manga, and I read the manga, and I was like, wow, this is fantastic, even though it's more of a webtoon, but you kind of get the point. Same thing can happen with Vinland Saga, because apparently like they have already finished the arc, so it's like it's already created. It's just a matter of like you have to go now read it instead of watching it in an anime form, which if you want to do that, you can do that. You can figure out where the story goes next for Thorfinn without it actually being animated. I always wanted to watch the animated stuff before going to like the non-animated stuff, but there's sometimes where these stories just like they capture my attention and they capture my desire, or they resonate with me so deeply that I need to figure out where this is going to be going, so that then I can continue to watch or like understand where this journey went. But that's where I say like you can do that for your own self too. Like you don't have to just be living in the world of these characters. Like you don't have to just be a byproduct of this said character, because like clearly you watched the show, clearly you enjoyed this content, clearly you enjoyed what was happening. And if you want to figure out how you can identify more of what you're good at, I do offer one-on-one coaching, and I also do have like a training program for anybody that's wanting to get in shape that you can like download at the links in the description. I just want to toss that out there. If that's something you want to do, awesome. If not, no worries. Just want to toss it out there just to toss it out there, because we have to be reminded a lot more than we need to be taught, and I'm just that person that helps you remain accountable. So like you do have the ability to transform your own life in the ways that you want to transform your life in. If that is in a way that is helping you become more of who you are, then wonderful. If that's a way of you being able to become and help other people and be of service to others, that's even more wonderful, because in the beginning, Thorfinn was being of service to Askeladd, even though he was kind of being manipulated in a sense, but he was also wanting to get revenge on fighting Askeladd, and that was just like his whole drive, his whole motive for wanting to do what he wanted to do. And then once the thing happened at the end of season 1, it's like, okay, well now I have to reevaluate my whole life, because everything that I knew up until this point was a complete lie. And I get that more than anything else, because I was always under the impression that like I was being like pushed, or like I was just going with like the wind basically, when I've come to realize I have a lot more control over my life. I have a lot more control over my actions. So I've been posting as many videos as I have this month, is because I wanted to personally challenge myself to see if I could create this much content in a given month, which clearly I have been able to. And it was a very challenging and worthwhile goal for me to achieve. And I was like, you know what, this is awesome. Like, let's keep doing this. Let's maybe inspire somebody else. Let's see if I can help somebody else like realize that like you can do a lot of work in a little bit of time, or you can do a lot of work in a little bit of time. Just really kind of comes down to what you want to do, and why training and putting in the effort and showing up every single day is the best way to move forward in the life that you're wanting to move forward in. And just because you don't get another season, or just because you don't get another video, or just because this person decided to stop creating, doesn't mean that you have to stop creating, because they themselves are doing what they are passionate for, just as I hope you're doing the thing that you yourself are passionate for. If you aren't doing the thing that you're passionate for, then you are the only one to blame, as cliche as that may be, but like it is true. You are the only one that is preventing you from your growth, from your true happiness, from your true objective in life. And that is why it's like you don't have to wait for the next season. Like you can find something else. You can create your own season. You create your own story. It's a matter of creating what you want to create out of this life. And if you truly liked Vinland Saga as much as you say you did, and you truly want to have a more worthwhile life, or you're waiting for season 3, like why wait around? Like why not do something in the meantime, kind of like Thorfinn would do? Like why not build your own empire? Why not build your own creativity? Why not build your own manga, or start your own anime, or start your own channel, or start your own artist business, or start your own like whatever it is that you want to do? Why not go do that thing right now? Because you can be waiting for the next season to come out and come out and come out and come out, and you can just be waiting. Or you can be enjoying this present moment, because you're always only ever in this present moment. When tomorrow happens, it's going to be the present. When yesterday happened, it's going to be still like in the past. But there's also like the ability for you to go back and tap into those said times. Like if you really wanted to, you could just watch season 1 and season 2 again. You might not have the same impact or the same feeling as it once did. Or like I said, you can go out and create your own story. Like do whatever Thorfinn would have done. Figure out like what you want out of your life, because clearly there is some magnificent, wonderful, amazing, over the top thing that is going to be happening to you within right now, because you're listening to this video in this said moment. There is no other time. So you might as well get to the work now, because there's an old saying of like the best time to plant a tree is right now, or the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. So if you're wanting a season 3, if you're wanting more seasons, if you're wanting more stories, if you're wanting something to resonate with more, I highly recommend doing what I've done and go create your own story. Go experience the world in new ways. Go do what Thorfinn has done in Vinland Saga. Go travel. Obviously don't do everything that he's done. Like we aren't in like the Vinland ages of like being able to have like Vikings and everything like that. But you can still go out and experience the world and create these stories and figure out like where's the next season that you want to go to. And you have different seasons in your life, just as we have different seasons in the world. Like we have summer, we have spring, we have fall, we have winter. Each season is going to bring a different fruit to us at that said time. So it's just a matter of figuring out what season do you want to be in, because you can always transfer from one season to the next in an instant moment, and you can always create your own season 3 within your own self instead of going back from season 1 and season 2. And then there's going to be a season 4, and then you're going to have multiple different seasons that you can always touch on and go back to, or you can move forward with. So if you're wanting to look for a new season or a new life, or you're hoping for something to happen, instead of hoping for something to happen, go make it happen yourself, and you'll be surprised at like just either the joy that comes along with creating it, the fulfillment that you have from experiencing it, the overall happiness, and like just overall like just the good feelings that you have from doing something that you yourself have done. Because I know that when I would like binge watch season 1 and season 2 of Vinland Saga, I loved it. It was great. It's fantastic. And now I can relay these said stories to you. At the same time, I found it very fulfilling as well to create this content for you, to make something out of like nothing, and then see like, oh, hey, there's some positive feedback. Oh, hey, maybe there's not some positive feedback. Oh, maybe some people are listening. Oh, maybe some people aren't listening. Maybe I'm having an impact. Maybe I'm not. I don't know, but I enjoy sharing these things, just as Vinland Saga enjoyed creating that story of showing that like, hey, this is what happened in the Viking Age. If you want to have something similar, you can also create something more from thin air, because I found it's way more fulfilling to create something than to consume something.